Well, hello and welcome to another talk on human design. I welcome all you into this experiment of your life. It's quite extraordinary, actually. So, today I'm going to ramble on about the 2-4 profile. Now, within human design, there's 6 different profiles, and it's quite important to understand what your profile is. It gives you an understanding of how you operate. When I discovered this knowledge over 7 years ago, it was a real kick in the head, and in a positive way. But on the same token, the knowledge I've learned, it really gave me a nice mind crack. So the profiles, the 6 different profiles that there is in human design. The ground floor, the investigator, profile 1. Second floor, that's what I am, the hermit. The third floor, the martyr. Fourth floor, the opportunist. Fifth floor is the heretic, and the 6th floor is the role model. And again, there's so much knowledge to be had in human design, and let's just break it down simply. In other words, when you were born, right away you were presumed to be a Toyota. And for most of your life, you've been treated as a Toyota. And when you discover human design and you read your manual, you all of a sudden discover that you were a Chevy from the moment you were born. Now, how does that impact you? Well, all the conditioning, you've been fed Toyota your whole life, you actually think you're Toyota. And again, when it comes to the thinking part, that's our minds. Our mind actually thinks it's this, the vehicle. So when you take this journey on human design, you're going to take this knowledge and you're going to apply it. In other words, it's useless if the manual, your car manual says you should put this kind of oil in the motor, and you ignore that, and the consequences are always catastrophic. You can think of human design in that exact same term. Is you've got your manual. Now take care of the vehicle. This. Let your mind experience what's happening. That's what it's here for. And we can use all sorts of fancy words. My mind is my outer authority. And what does that mean? Well, my mind isn't here to make decisions for me. It's here to measure and compute and to compartmentalize. I'm trying to use some fancy words, but that didn't work out. But it's not, it's here for the other. My mind is here for the other. And a beautiful example of that was just yesterday. I decided, well, my body decided it's going out. I'm a 2-4, I'll talk about that in a bit. So I'm a hermit. I love my cave. And if you're a second line and this resonates with you, it's a pretty cool thing. But it can be a little deceiving. So anyways. So I went out to my local pub to listen to some of my friends play some music, and I was invited to share a conversation with a lady next to me, and we started talking human design, and it was just amazing how it how it just flowed. And it really gave me that sweet taste of success in my mouth, literally. That's the signature of a projector. Success when things are going right. In other words, when I'm living correctly, and bitterness when I'm letting my mind make the decisions. And that's the whole deal. So let's get back to the 2-4 profile. Second line, hermit. What does that mean? Well, you know what? I'm standing in front of my living room, and apparently my drapes are wide open, and the lights are on, and I'm totally naked, and I'm doing what I do. And people walk by, and they stop, and they stare, and I have no idea that I'm being watched. I'm just doing what I do. And as I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going, what the hell do I do? And I don't do a whole lot anymore. I just do what I got to do. And these people watching me, some will call me out. So us second line people, we like sitting in our cave. We want to be noticed. If you're a projector, hey, we crave recognition. That's really our kryptonite, and I found that out painfully. All my life, I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be the loudest. I wanted to be the last one in the room. I wanted to be the first at the party. I wanted to be noticed. Most projectors were needy little bitches. Come on, look at me, look at me. And the result of that, the result of me trying to initiate, really left a super bitter taste in my mouth. So if that resonates with you, if you have that bitterness, and it's not anger, it's true bitterness, like what the hell? Like if I, again, initiate something, let's say try to arrange a party. That's a good example, and this is a true life example. I try to arrange a sports party. For you Canadians listening, the Grey Cup party to be exact. I spent probably $300 on food. I spent 8 hours preparing, and game time came and party time came, and not one single person showed up. Not one. And if you wanted to see bitter, that was bitter. And it really kicked me in the nuts. And I said to myself, and this was way back before I even knew the knowledge, I said to myself, self, no, not again. But the bitterness continued until I found this knowledge. So the second lines, we're sitting in our cave. We love it. We need to be called out. And it's not going to be a stranger that's going to call us out. It's going to be somebody in our network. A second line, we really, really value our network. We need our network. This is where all our magic happens. We're not going to be recognized by strangers. Now, with that being said, the person next to me yesterday was a stranger to me, but was connected to my network. And that's, in the broadest sense, this is how it works. So, as the fourth line, I'll just jump into the fourth line, the opportunist. I recognize that opportunity to engage in conversation. And it might sound, as I'm listening to myself, it might sound like, yeah, well, doesn't everybody do that? Because that was one of the questions I had yesterday. I ran her chart and described a bit about her. And she said, well, doesn't this apply to everybody? And I said, no. As a matter of fact, it doesn't. It's uniqueness. There's similarities, absolutely. Let's say all you open spleens, or all you open, even better, all you open solar plexus, you have the similarity of the not self. The not self is similar. How that gets manifested through your movie, that's a different story. I can't tell you that. So it's similar. So back to the 2-4. So the cave is my sanctuary. Last month I was listening to my friend speak on environments, Eric, and he was describing the second line, and he described a car as a cave on wheels. And I've always loved driving. I always feel safe in that environment. If it's closed in, I feel very comfortable. So, once again, what does it mean? What does all this stuff mean? It means that delve into who you are. So, generators. Let's really talk about you. You're 70 plus percent of the population are generators. You are the life force. Without you, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors wouldn't be here. We wouldn't exist. You create the world around us. Now that's pretty powerful. Now think about that. If you're creating the world around us and you are creating that environment incorrectly, in other words, you're not following your strategy or authority, it ripples through everything. And you can see the world is a place of self-hate. There's not a whole lot of people that like themselves. And I always found that interesting. Ross speaking about that and how he said that he had to quit doing readings because he wanted to kill people. And it was terrible. And I can see that. I can and he talked about how people's not self, that people lived in that agony, and I know that I've lived that my whole life up until this knowledge. Now that doesn't go away, of course, and knowing this isn't going to help you. Ra's famous line was, you can't fix mind with mind. In other words, you can't take this knowledge and sit on your couch and think about it. Yeah, I'm gonna think about being a projector, but I'm gonna phone my buddy and I'm gonna initiate something and I'm gonna try to manifest something, but I'm gonna be a projector. Doesn't work that way. So if you're a manifester, you're a manifester. You're 9%, 10% of the population. You used to run the program back in the day. And again, if you are just entering human design, there's so much backstories to it. And over 7 years ago, when I was introduced into human design, there was not a whole lot. It was still, it was still on the outskirts of tribals. And 7 years later, human design has entered the collective, hardcore. And so what does that actually mean? Well, there's so much information and perspective on human design. So in other words, somebody took the original owner manual and started putting their own flower and fluff on it, their own perspective, their own this or that. And for the most part, a lot of people are into human design, and it's like, hey, I can make some money off of this stuff. And absolutely you can do that, or not. And the beauty about human design is you just have to follow your owner's manual. It's not rocket science. If somebody told you that, you know what, to to operate or to digest your food correctly, you need to eat in a quiet environment. If somebody told you that, and your whole life you've been eating in a noisy environment, and you've had your whole life stomach issues, digestive issues, and somebody told you that, hey, you know what, just why don't you start eating where it's really quiet? You need that. And lo and behold, guess what? I'm talking about myself here. And I found out I needed to eat where it's quiet. My whole life I was eating where it was loud. Nightclubs and bars. I labored on the streets, jackhammers, blah, blah, blah. And I had stomach issues forever. And that relates to a few other not self properties. But for the most part, for the last 7 years, I've had very, very few issues. So it's amazing how the mechanics work. And I'm not exploring, well, how can I make this even, my vehicle a turbocharge? And that's the problem. Once we slip into human design, once you surrender to the fact that we have no control, you have no control. Your mind's going to keep telling you, no, you know what? You need to polish up the paint on your vehicle. You need to dress it up. You need to look better. And depending on all your openness, it could be a rough ride. So, human design, again, not rocket science. Look at your profile, look at your design, and follow it. Now, the gates, the channels, the transits, the colors, the tones, the bases, it's all mind candy. And if you think about it and get lost in that knowledge, your mind is still in control of you. Again, it's if you need to study more, if you're a first line specialist, first line individuals need a solid foundation. And again, you don't need to be a one profile, but take a look at all the first lines in your chart. It's the same thing. So the second line, as me, and that's what we're talking about for second line individuals, we're naturals. I rarely pick up a book to look for this instruction or that instruction. And I'm really using this in a broad sense. And I found that I'm not too interested in things that I really have to study. And it's either comes naturally or not. And second lines were naturals. And that's what people see when they walk past the window. They see me doing something, and it's nothing. I don't even think what I'm doing. And they'll stop and say, you know what? You know that thing you do with sea glass, or you know those pictures you take? They're amazing. You know, you should be a photographer. You should be this. You should be that. You have so much potential to do this and that. And I'm always like, hey, thanks, man. Yeah, okay, cool. At first, I love the recognition. Again, projector. I'm the projector. And then I go back doing what I do and don't think about it. I don't think of how it works. I just know it does. So, again, second lines. Be a second line. See the characteristics. And when you're looking at other people and you look at their charts, see, don't look for the sameness, look for the difference. That's the whole point, the science of differentiation. We are all unique, and it's a beautiful thing to be unique. And when you surrender to your uniqueness, and remember all your open centers, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing to be fixed. This is where you get your wisdom from. My open spleen, oh my God, the not self does not go away. We've got to remember the open spleen, not self. Hold on to anything. That's not good for me. That doesn't go away, but I don't make decisions anymore with that. It's still there. And I've learned the wisdom of the wrong things, or even the right things could be wrong for me. My open route, the not self open route. Get rid of the pressure as fast as you can. And I've noticed that now that I listen to my body. So I'll go for my daily walk, and I used to walk quickly. And I wanted to get my walk over with. And now I don't even think of my pace. I just go. Could be fast, could be slow. Doesn't. So we got to remember that not selfness. You can discover all you want about human design, and for the most part, so many people take pieces, little aspects out of human design, intertwine it with their other modalities, and try to come up with a better not self. And for the most part, the seven-center being, we've always wanted that. We need positive reinforcement. We want people to tell us the way we're thinking isn't wrong. And that's what's happening. And that's the coming to an end fairly soon. But anyways, so read the knowledge and understand that it's meaningless unless you live out your design. And again, it's very hard to do that sometimes in our everyday lives, because we have this or that, and our mind convinces us we have no time to delve into this. And, there's no way I can just sit around and wait for an invitation, or I can't wait 28 lunar days to make a decision. I don't have to inform anybody, and I don't have to respond. I'm in control of my life, and I'll let my mind make the decisions for me. And we spin and we spin and we spin. I can only talk about what I've experienced so far in my experiment. I have confirmed for myself, verified all of this. There's not one crack within that. And I don't need to search anymore. I don't need to look for any more answers, because there is none. It's been answered. And now, depending on your chart, your head center, depends how you're wired up there, and you might always think about it. Well, I sure rambled on. And it's time people just actually just have communion and share the knowledge of human design, and show people that actually, I'm going to take that back. Just live your movie the way you have to live your movie, and everything else just transpires. And it always comes back to this. It always comes back to this. And I'll quote Ra. This knowledge is not for you. This knowledge is for the children. And again, I will state it all the time, that it's so important that you treat your children energetically correct. and it might not go with what your beliefs, whatever. And maybe as a parent, you know, this human design, I don't know, doesn't resonate with you. But you find out your children are a manifestor, generator, projector, or reflector. Treat them energetically correct. It's so important. The children coming into this world after 2027, the rave children, they're the new species. They are the mutation that's happening. But again, that is another movie, and I'll I'll be long gone before I even see the mutation. Most of us, it'll be our children born after the 2027. But regardless, so quick thing before I end this. We were 7 center beings. 400 some years ago, we mutated, 9 center beings. We no longer had to worry about survival. And we had a lot of spare time, so to speak. And our minds got in charge. And you can see how that actually turns out. So, the 9 centers, I'll briefly go through them. The newcomers, again, it's pretty simple. Just listen to the not self and see if it resonates. Open head. Not self theme. Am I answering everybody's questions or trying to answer everybody's question? The open ajna. Not self theme. Am I mentally certain? See how I had to I had to hesitate. I've got an open ajna. I wanted to be mentally certain I'm saying the right thing. Open throat. Am I trying to attract attention? Open G. Looking for love and direction. Open sacral. Never knowing when enough is enough. Open root. Trying to get things done fast so you can relieve the pressure. Open spleen. Hang on to anything that's not good for you. And the open solar plex. Avoid confrontation and truth at all costs. And that's a powerful one, and I'll talk about that another time. And the open ego or heart. Always trying to prove your worth. Now again, this isn't right or wrong. If you have those open centers, that's not going away. The spokesperson for those open centers, once again, is your mind. Your mind is the not self. But you're not doomed. Let that flow, depending on the transits, depending on how you're conditioned and who you are in the aura of. Start watching the movie. Sit in the passenger seat, sit back, put your feet up, and go, wow, didn't see that coming. Remember, it's a beautiful movie. It's your movie. In order to get your name on the marquee, the starring role of that movie, you have to know your role. It's crucial. Once you know your role, everything starts falling into place. Everything. Human design will transform your life. It will ease the resistance. It will shed off all the byproduct of incorrectness. You can walk around lighter and understand more. And the best part is, looking through your mind as a lens. And again, the mind is a beautiful thing, but it's not our authority. It's not an inner authority. So remember, and again, no, it's not rocket science. And if anything of this is real, if this is even, well, yeah, even if this isn't real, follow your strategy, follow your authority. And that's going to lead to the biggest win. And that's called self-love, true self-love. And with that true self-love brings that peace, purpose, and meaning. So till next time, sit back, put your feet up, and make sure you're in the passenger seat where we belong. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you might be. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully see you next time. If you have any suggestions, questions, or input, please provide that in the comments. And if you like the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you.